We've got such a good team of people, and one of them is going to be speaking tonight. Andy, come on up. Andy, as most of you know, is our youth pastor. On Sundays and Saturdays, he's usually with our youth in another part of the building, and so you don't get to see him except when he slips in a service every now and then. But Andy has done an incredible job leading our youth and having such a heart. In fact, his heart has influenced mine for outreach and just a hunger for God, and I draw from the passion that's in him. And so I love the life of God that's in him. And so Andy's going to share tonight, and he's going to have some of the young people share, and so it's all yours, buddy. You don't need it, do you?
I'll keep it up here, though.
Okay.
All right. Cool. How's everybody doing? Yeah? Good. Man, I got a better response than the other pastors that talked up here. All righty. So, yeah, like Tony said, my name's Andy. I lead the youth here. So, in case you didn't know, that's those who are in 6th through 12th grade. Okay? And I've got to say that I have the privilege of leading probably the most amazing group of teenagers around. All right? And if you're not involved with this youth group, then you really should be. So if you'd like to talk to me afterwards, maybe you're a student and you want to know more about our weekly gatherings, or maybe you're an adult and you'd like to find out just what way you can get involved, whether it's a small commitment or a weekly commitment. We have many opportunities and many ways that we can get you plugged in and be a part of one of the best ministries around. So like everybody's been saying, we're going to talk about our camp experience, okay? And so before we get into that, I just want to give you a little bit of a brief description of what our camp is about. It's called Summer Service, or SOS for short, okay? And what this is a week-long conference. And we go away to Cincinnati, Ohio. And this isn't your typical youth camp where, you go away and it's like, come and sit and sing and listen and just have your own experience with God. No, we come and experience powerful worship. Okay, then we hear great messages, and then after that, we go and we hit the streets and we share, the love and just everything that God has poured into us. We go and we pour it out onto the city of Cincinnati. Okay, and the goal of this camp is not that we would just come and have our own experience with God, which, we get that. But it also helps us to just develop a heart for our community. All right, so before we get started and before we have teens come up and tell you about their experiences, we just got a real quick video for you. All right. Looks fun. How many of you want to come with us next year now? Yeah, seriously, it's awesome. Okay, well, first, I'm going to have Amanda come up. And so you're going to be an 8th grader at Lyndhurst, that's right. Here you go. This is for you. And Amanda's just going to give us a little bit of a brief rundown of what we did on a daily basis.
So on Monday, we traveled all day to get there, and with another church. It was a really cool experience getting there. And once we got there, we had this really, really cool worship service and then a message that was really, really empowering on the first day. And then the second day, every day we had a service in the morning. So after the service in the morning, our group, we went and did a water bottle handout and a car wash, which was to basically just let everyone in the surrounding area know what we were doing and, to minister to people. And then we had a service at night, every night. The next day we did bag hunger, which was where we handed out groceries to anyone who wanted them or needed them in the community around the church. Then on Thursday was our canoe experiences, which was really cool. We basically just canoed around a really cool
Which in
river.
that trip, I thought I was the most experienced canoer, and I think I tipped our canoe more than anybody combined on
I
the
think
whole
so.
trip.
Yeah.
Oh man, I've still got bruises from that trip.
Yeah, but it was really cool. And then on Friday, we did a party in the student union, which is connected to the church. We did it for disabled adults around and in a camp from the surrounding area. And they came and had a really good time, and we hung out with them. And then on Saturday, we came back. But, it was a really cool experience to be able to go and minister to people that didn't really know what we were doing. There were a couple of people that I ran into personally that didn't even know why we would do this. So it was really cool to learn, and see people and minister to people. So.
Yeah, good. Thank you. Yeah, it was amazing how many people. Yeah, give her a hand. It's crazy how surprised people get, when you do something nice for them. Like, we handed out a water bottle to people, and they would just be shocked, like, why are you giving me a free water bottle? Like, people don't do this type of a nice thing very often. It's like, we're just handing you a water bottle. But, it's crazy how impactful simple little things like that are, and how many people really experience God's love through something as easy as that. The next one we're going to have share is Kali. Come help me out, man. Kali, yeah. This guy's an awesome man. So you're going to be a sophomore at Ben Davis. Nice. All right, he's got a really cool story for you. And I may interject and share little parts that stuck out to me as well, but we're going to kind of tag team this one and share a really cool story. Go for it. You start. So this was on the bag hunger. Yeah, this was on the bag hunger day, okay? And remember we prayed before we went out there? And let me explain this just a little bit. So when we pray, okay, before we go, we kind of ask God for clues, all right? And sometimes he'll just lay little things on our hearts like, maybe you should keep an eye out for someone in a yellow shirt, or, I don't know, sometimes crazy things happen, like a name pops into your head, and like, I don't know, maybe we might run into somebody named such and such, and we'll find out that they needed prayer. Okay, so these are just, giving God opportunity to, really specifically find who needs prayer that day. So we did that beforehand, and Kylie's going to share some of the clues that we got and some of the things that we found. You remember some of the clues? Go for it.
We went for pass out bags for people at their houses, and one of our youth students, they got named Kira, and so we went there. We went to some lady's house and helped her with, clean her house and clean her outside her house, and so two students went inside to use the bathroom, and they saw Kira written on the door of the room, and so they said that was their picture in their head when they was praying, and asked them what they needed to get And after that, before that, there's another student. She had a picture of a butterfly, and there was white butterflies flying around the house, and there was a white butterfly on this lady's back that we passed the bag to. And so we just started walking around just trying to figure out more, and that was it.
Yeah, good. So we got an opportunity just to pray for the lady that we were helping out that day and pray for her daughter. So yeah, good. Yeah, I didn't tell you guys, but I told Kali like 30 seconds before the service started that he was going to share because somebody else was not able to make it. So appreciate it, man. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it was crazy. We prayed and got these clues, and I mean, can you imagine if the name Kira popped into your head and you're like, yeah, right. Like we're gonna run into somebody named Kira today, okay? And I mean, the reason why, we had to go into this lady's house to use the bathrooms, which is something they told us not to do, okay? So me being a leader there and then allowing our kids to go in and use the bathroom, I thought they were just gonna send me home, But it was like, we didn't have bathrooms the whole day, and if you got 8 teenagers that are all needing to use the bathroom, like you're gonna find a bathroom for them, okay? So we let them go in and sent a couple leaders in, and it was like, they came out and they're like, oh my goodness, you won't believe it, Kira's on the doorpost, and and then there's like the other clue is the white butterfly, and there was butterflies all over the place that were white, so it was like, we're probably supposed to pray for this lady, okay? And it's like, to me, that's so cool because it really shows us that God is, He's watching each one of us, okay? And He sees what's going on in our lives. And it's like, He directed us to that lady because He knew that she needed something from God that day. And, we just got to, be the ones that God allowed us to use at that moment. So we got one more to come down, Mr. Tajay. He's got a very interesting outfit on. So I don't know if you want to explain that or not, or bust a move, I don't know. But this is what he wears on a regular basis. No.
When I was at SOS, most impactful thing that had on me was this lady, one of our speakers during service. She had this story. Her daughter went to school every day, and she kept coming home saying that Yoslin wasn't at school, Yoslin was sick. And like Yoslin, she had bone cancer, and her mom finally got some of the teachers from the school and went to Yoslin's house. Then they went to Yoslin's house and they talked to her mom and stuff, and then that's when the speaker got something from God saying that you should actually help out Yoslin and her family. So at first, her and her husband were starting to talk about it. So they fixed up Yoslin's room, but the people didn't really know that they were going to tear down the whole house because that's what needed to be done because the house was so bad because all the hospital bills that they had to pay. They didn't have time to fix up on the house. So once they got done, they tore down the house, and then they sent Yoslin and her family off somewhere, and that's when they had a lot to be done. But the thing that was actually impactful is that the first thing she did was said yes to God, and everything starts off with the first yes that you say, because as you keep going, you have to say yes. And if you say yes, it can actually bring you to a big thing that you have to get done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good stuff. Appreciate it, man. So that's actually what I'm going to finish sharing on as well, because this story was the most impactful thing for me this week. And it was just so cool because the speaker was talking about, like Tajay said, that her daughter just kept coming home and talking about this girl in her class that, she had bone cancer, and it was like, today she wasn't at school because she was sick. Today she was in the hospital again. And, she felt like every day her daughter came home and had to tell her that she wasn't around, And, God just laid on her heart, I want you to do something about it. I want you to help this family. And as they investigated, they come to find out that the family's just been, just totally handcuffed and bound up by all the medical bills. And like Tajay said, their house was just at the point where, there really wasn't anything they could do to save the house. They were literally just going to have to tear the thing down and start over because it was, at that point. And, it was like, I don't know about you guys, but if God asked me to help somebody, redo their house, okay, like we didn't tell you this part at first, but they rebuilt the house for this lady that was a $300,000 house, okay? And I don't know about you, but I would have a hard time having faith for a $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 house, okay, let alone a $300,000 house, okay? And not only was the story, just hearing, this girl's situation, I don't know about you guys, but that stirred something in me. But then also when I heard the lady, the woman of faith that God called to step into this situation, and really, he asked her to step into an impossible situation, and he wanted her to step in and do something about it, okay? And it was really cool just to hear her story, and what God took her through, because how many of you guys have heard in church we talk about God, wants to work in and through you? Okay, a lot of times when God works through us, he's doing something in us as well. All right, and when this lady was just sharing her story, she talked about how, they were going over the plans and the budget and trying to figure out what they could do to this house. And, they were at one point where it's like, we're running out of money. Maybe we should just put basic carpet in the house instead of putting, maybe hardwood floors in certain places. Or maybe we should put their old kitchen appliances into this new house, or maybe we should just only put furniture in the rooms that people will actually see, and then not put furniture in the rest. And God just kept telling me, you just keep saying yes to me. Don't you think that I can put, new appliances in here? Don't you think that I can furnish the whole house? Okay, and it was all God asked her to do is, not to worry about this whole big picture, but just keep saying yes to me and take that next step. And to me, that was a big deal, because how many times do we, maybe get this call from God, where we feel like if we were to open ourselves up to God for this calling, he's going to lay something on us that is going to be, way more than we can handle. And you know what the truth is that being a child of God, you're probably, let me throw this out there first. Do you guys know that God lives inside of each one of us? Each one of us believers, the Holy Spirit lives inside of us. Did you guys know that God is the God of the impossible? So go figure that if the God of the impossible is living inside of you, that you're going to face impossible situations. That if you look at it through your own eyes, this is going to be something that, you'll probably say like, this can't be done. But that's the thing about God is he steps into these situations, and they go from being something that was impossible to being something that was once impossible but now is accomplished. Okay? And it really comes through just knowing who is inside of you and the capabilities that he has. The God of the impossible lives inside of you, and he has the ability to cause anything to happen. Okay? And this is the picture that God has, always shown me when I think about this idea of doing the impossible with God. Okay? He shows me this picture of just this huge rock, that would be impossible for me to move, and I always picture him just coming to me and saying, hey, I want you to move that rock. And I don't know about you guys, but a lot of times when we hear God saying, this is something that I want you to do, how many of us feel like he's wanting us to just run off and do it on our own? Like he expects us to have the ability within ourselves to go and do it. And that's the problem, because what God is really saying is that, hey, I want you to do this with me. Me and you are going to do this together. And I believe those are the three most important things that, we need to remember when it comes to stepping out and, just doing the things that God is laying on our hearts. Okay, understanding who's in us and the power that he has. And then also understanding that he's not just wanting you to do it alone, that he's going to do it with you. Okay? So I just want to encourage you that I know that there are people here that there's things right now that God is reminding you of, saying, hey, I still want to use you in this area. And all he wants you to do is say yes and take that next step. Okay, and just keep saying yes, keep taking those next steps. And watch as God does something like, uses you to build a $300,000 house for somebody, this house was an amazing house. It was completely handicapped accessible, just a beautiful home. And it was just expressing God's glory and his love here on this earth, and some of you have these huge dreams and these huge desires, and God just wants you to, take these next steps and say yes and watch as he causes this thing to come to pass. Or I don't know, maybe there's some of us in here that, I don't know, maybe you don't even know what God's called you to, okay? Sometimes God just stirs something inside of our hearts, and all we have going on is there's just this yes in our hearts. It's like, I don't have a picture, I don't have any idea what I'm supposed to do, but I want to do it. Whatever God calls me to, I want to do that thing. And maybe that's your first step. Just coming to God and saying, I've got this yes in my heart, and here I am. Whatever you want to do in me or through me, I'm here for you. Okay? So I would just we just want to open up in prayer. If the worship team wants to come back down, we'll have a few people kind of stand around the sides that are available to pray with you. And really what we want to do is we just want to come alongside you. We want to agree with what God is doing in your heart and in your life, okay? And, those of you that God's stirring in your heart, don't wait for me to say go, okay, to come down and get prayer. Because if God's stirring in your heart, then you've already got the go-ahead. There's one last yes that I feel like, God might be stirring in someone's heart today, and that's the yes to step into a relationship with him. If you've never said yes to a relationship with God, I believe that his arms are open for you right here, right now. And if that's something that's stirring in your heart, if God's stirring in you and saying, I've never taken that step, I've never really said yes to him for whatever reason, I just want to encourage you to do that today. And we would be more than happy just to talk to you and pray with you and encourage you in whatever decision that it is that God is stirring in you to make today. So if you guys, could just stand with us, we're going to spend a few more minutes in worship. If you'd like prayer, feel free to come down and get prayer.